Hi there, and welcome back to the Golden Aura Energy Healing and Wellness Podcast. If this is your first time here, my name is Faye. I'm a Reiki Master Teacher, Yoga Teacher, Advanced Somatic Practitioner, Movement Therapy Practitioner, and a Biomagnetic Therapy Practitioner. But more importantly, I'm someone who believes that healing begins with learning to reconnect with yourself. I'm so grateful you've chosen to spend this time with me today. And wherever you are right now, whether you're driving, folding laundry, or taking a walk, I invite you to arrive fully in this moment and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and a gentle exhale. And one more time, slow and steady inhale, and a slow, relaxed exhale. And now I'd like you to notice how, even after just 2 intentional breaths, something begins to shift. And maybe that's your shoulders softening, or your jaw relaxing, and maybe your mind is slowing down just a little bit. That small shift is the beginning of today's conversation. Today, we're talking about one of the most powerful tools we have as human beings, and that is awareness. I've said this before, in my opinion, awareness is the foundation of every healing journey. Before you can change a habit, we have to notice it. Before we can heal an emotional wound, we have to acknowledge that it's there. And before we can create a healthier relationship, we have to understand how we're showing up in these relationships. Before you can feel more grounded, peaceful, or connected, we have to become aware of what is preventing us from being in these states in the first place. And although I understand that that may seem very scary, and awareness isn't about becoming perfect, it's about becoming present. So let's start with a simple question. What is awareness? So awareness is the ability to notice what is happening within you and around you without immediately reacting. It means you can observe your thoughts without believing every single one. It means noticing your emotions without letting them completely control you and take you over. It means paying attention to your body, to your breath, to your habits, to your relationships. Awareness is like turning the lights on in a dark room. The room was always there. The furniture was always there. The doorway was always there. You simply couldn't see it clearly enough until the light came on. That's what awareness does. It lights up what has always been present, and sometimes what we discover is beautiful. Now, sometimes what we discover is uncomfortable. But either way, awareness gives us the opportunity to choose what happens next. To choose if we want to stay on this path, or with our newfound awareness, change direction and see what lies ahead. Have you ever driven home from work, suddenly realized you don't remember most of the drive? You don't remember if you stopped at the stop sign down the street. Or have you walked into a room and forgotten why you're there? Finished an entire meal and you didn't even remember what it tastes like. Many of us spend the majority of our day in autopilot. Our brains are designed to create habits because habits help us conserve mental energy. And this isn't a flaw, it's a part of how we function. The challenge is that sometimes those automatic patterns no longer serve us. Maybe we automatically criticize ourselves, or maybe we automatically reach for the phone whenever we feel uncomfortable or we're bored. Maybe we automatically say yes when what we really want to say is no. Maybe we automatically worry about things that we can't control. Awareness is the moment we interrupt this pattern. So instead of reacting automatically, we pause. And in that pause, we gain the freedom to choose a different response. Now, one of the biggest misunderstandings about awareness is people think if they become aware, then they are in turn criticizing themselves or bringing bad parts of themselves to light. It does not. Awareness says, I notice that I'm anxious today. Judgment says, I shouldn't be anxious. Awareness sounds like I'm feeling overwhelmed today. And judgment sounds like, what is wrong with me? Awareness says, my body is asking for rest. And judgment says, you're lazy. Can you hear the difference? One approach creates compassion, the other creates shame and blame. Healing grows much easier in compassion than it does in shame. Now, awareness begins in the body. I often tell my clients that our bodies are always communicating with us. The question is, are we listening? Think about the last time you were nervous. What happened? Maybe you had like a tight stomach. Maybe your breath became shallow. Maybe your heart started racing. Those weren't random events. Your body was sending you information. Or think about the last time you felt completely at peace. Your breathing probably slowed, your muscles softened, your face relaxed, your shoulders dropped. Your body communicates long before your mind finds the words. One of the most powerful things you can do is simply pause throughout your day and ask yourself, what is my body telling me right now? What does my body need? Not because you need to fix it immediately. Not because when you first start this, you're even going to understand exactly what you need. But because listening is the first act of kindness you can offer yourself. Those tiny, tiny, tiny steps that end up making a world of difference. Now let's talk about your mind for a moment. Have you ever noticed that your mind is always talking? It's planning, it's remembering, analyzing, worrying, imagining, comparing, celebrating, questioning. Our minds produce thousands of thoughts every day. Not every thought is a fact. Now, I know when it comes into your mind, you believe it as fact, but it is in fact a fact that not every thought is a fact. Now, having said that, not every thought deserves your attention. And one of the greatest gifts of awareness is realizing that you are not every thought that enters your mind. You can notice a thought without becoming the thought. For example, I'll never be good enough. Instead of believing immediately that to be true, awareness allows you to pause and ask, hey, is this thought actually true? Is there another way to look at this? And would I speak to someone that I love like this? These questions create space between you and your thoughts. And that space is where healing begins. Now, many of us grow up believing certain emotions were good and certain emotions are bad. But emotions are information. Emotions are energy in motion. Joy tells us something, fear tells us something, anger tells us something, sadness tells us something, and excitement tells us something. None of these emotions make you a bad person. They're part of being human. But awareness allows us to experience emotions without letting them define us. Instead of saying, I'm angry, we might say, I'm noticing anger right now. That small shift reminds us that emotions move. They come, they stay for a while, and eventually they pass. So I'm going to let you sit with this for a while and digest. We will see you back here for part 2. We'll explore awareness in relationships, intuition, spiritual growth, energetic boundaries, healing practices, common questions. I know time is precious, and I truly, 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 from the bottom of my heart, am so grateful that you chose to spend your time with me today. Have a great day.